Gabe. You know, how gratifying is it to you to come in and pitch well when your team needs you to, but also in front of family and friends like that today?
The support is awesome. I love having the most support in the stands. I mean, I also have brothers beside me to support me as well, so I feel pretty good.
Go ahead.
Matt, you guys were in a bit of a battle early, trading runs, but saw Frank was struggling a little bit, and then Gabe comes in and he gives you guys those consecutive scoreless innings and gives you some room to kind of build a lead so you can kind of take control of the game. How does that change the feeling in the dugout to have a guy come in and just solidify things like that on the mound?
I mean, it's everything. Lets our offense work a little bit more. Yeah, he did a great job today, and we're all very proud of him.
Go ahead.
Matt, I have to confess that we were talking in the press box that you were kind of due. So talk about the pitch you got and the pitch you got out.
You see I switched up the facial hair a little bit, get the mustache going, switch up the juju a little bit. But, yeah, got to a 2-0 count. The guys in front of me did a great job getting on base. And then got a 2-0 slider over the middle of the plate, just put my barrel on it, and carried out the ballpark.
Go ahead, Jim.
Gabe, obviously talked about you pitching well, but you've actually been pitching as good as you have all season during is probably the hardest time for you, and the pressure situation with it being tournament. How are you being able to pull all that resolve together at one time?
It's just the trust of my teammates behind me. Just going out there and executing pitches is all I need to do, and then making plays for me is wonderful. So.
And I would say he's a tough dude. He's a tough dude. And I asked Gabe before he wasn't going to go back at that last inning, and I said, just give us what you got. Just pour it out one more time. And you look at he threw 2 innings yesterday, and to come back today, I'll speak on his behalf because he's a modest guy, but his resolve, his stuff's good, but it plays up because of his resolve. He's just so composed and so tough for such a young guy. It's really impressive, and you just trust. You trust who he is. You trust who he is as more than what he is. The stuff's good, but who he is special.
Gabe, what was your reaction to getting to play this regional in Louisville, and how many friends and family do you think you had here?
I mean, it's heartwarming, I guess. Just being around family and being around the teammates is pretty awesome. Either way, anywhere we go, I guess. I mean, just being in Louisville is kind of special. So.
You have like a dozen people, or?
I had a pretty big fan base up there, I would say.
Go ahead, Aaron.
Can you talk about, it seemed like with you and Cole Barr for Matt Lloyd, did you hit one, he hits one? Is that intentional? Are you guys having some kind of unofficial home run competition, or is it just accidental that you guys are both great power hitters? Because several of the games I cover, it's like you hit one, he hits one.
I know, I always joke with him and say, he can't hit one unless I hit one. So, I mean, I guess it's accidental. Just getting on a roll, I guess. So.
That's 6 times this year. Same game.
Same dude. It's crazy. He just wants to be like the older guy. He wants to be like the older brother. You gotta show him how to do it, I guess.
Good.
Matt, the hitting yesterday was an issue for you guys. Did you guys change coming into today's game?
I would say just getting back to what we've been doing all year. Coach Mercer always talks about we've learned how to do it, and the past probably 3-4 games we just got away from it, and then today we just try to get back to what we were doing before. Getting pitches over the middle of the plate, staying in the big part of the field, being on fastball timing, battling with 2 strikes. That's just basically what we went back to is what we've been doing the majority of the season. So.
I would say this for them to that point. We did score 7 runs yesterday, and understanding that I understand that sometimes when we stub our toe, it doesn't look poetic. It's not beautiful. We did score 7 runs in his defense, and when we do things right, we score in bunches. When we do it right, we score in bunches, and when we don't do it right, it obviously looks as bad as it did yesterday. But to their credit, and I was frustrated yesterday, and rightly so. To their credit, they were able to put together some innings and score 7 runs. And so, you would like to be able, we made some defensive miscues that cost us 3 or 4 runs yesterday, but they did put together a 3 or 4 inning stretch there where you score 7 runs, and you would like to think that if you take care of the ball a little bit better, 7 runs should win you a ball game on a Friday night, should win you a ball game on a Friday night in a regional. So to their credit, they did enough to find a way to win it, although it wasn't beautiful. But I wanted to make sure I said that too, because I was obviously frustrated just about the game in whole.
Yes, Matt, just to go back to the stash for a second. When did you go with the stash? When did you shave that? And I guess was that a direct response to maybe the last couple weeks at the plate?
Yeah, I'd say it was last night. Me, Ryan Feynman, and Paulie try to switch up the vibes a little bit, switch up the juju. Yeah, so Ryan got a mustache right now, and I don't know if you guys saw Paulie's beard, but it's pretty interesting. So.
Coach, you choose to go with Andrew Salfrank today over your usual Saturday guy, Tanner Gordon. What was kind of the decision making behind that?
Tanner would have been great. Honestly, Tanner, it really comes down to matchups. I realized that Andrew was a pitcher of the year, an All-American, and those pieces are this time of the year it's irrelevant. I realized if he hadn't pitched today, and let's say we had lost, I would have been they've been throwing tomatoes at me. But you have to look at a club and say, the Odie kid for them is a great player. Several of their better players are left-handed. You like the breaking ball from Salfrank. He was a better matchup. No matter who we played tomorrow, we felt like Gordon was a better matchup if we were to get to that game. And there was conversation about Gordon throwing this game as well, and who's better out of the pen. And we felt like Gordon was better out of the pen than Sally is out of the pen. So a culmination of a lot of things, but it really didn't come down to Andrew's a pitcher of the year, so he has to pitch today. They're all capable of having success. It really was just we felt like the matchup against UIC was better for Andrew. In the matchup coming out of the pen, if he needed to, was better for Tanner. And then tomorrow, if we got to tomorrow, that Tanner was a better matchup against both clubs.
Any more questions for the kids? Okay, you guys can take off. One more question for Coach.
Thank you.
Got it out of order there. Go ahead.
Coach, with you mentioned Gabe's toughness and everything of the last few weeks, was there ever any talk about him not playing or taking time away? I mean, he came back so quick and pitched so well.
Yeah, there certainly was. There was certainly talk of that. I kind of you have to build a relationship with your players to understand who they are and what they need. And we try really hard to get to know our players personally, to understand them away from baseball. And as I sat down with Gabe through that moment, through his moment of crisis, and we all spent time with him, the coaching staff, and his grandfather, we talked about it. And I asked him, the day after, I asked him, what would you like me to do? What would you like me to do? Would you like me to keep you on the active roster? From our standpoint for the team, he's been our best bullpen guy, but that's irrelevant in these moments. And so I just asked him, you lead me a little bit. And he kind of looked at me like, that's the dumbest question that I've ever heard in my life. And he just said, I've been doing so well. I want to be with my brothers. I want to be here. This is what I want to do. I don't want to stop I don't want to stop improving. I don't want to stop going. I want to help this team win. And I said, okay. He said, if that's what we do and you're comfortable being on the roster, then are you comfortable being the first guy out? Or and when the situation calls for it, he's like, give me the ball. Give me the ball. I'm ready when you need me. And you see him, like he's a tremendous kid, and he just wants to help. He just wants to help. And I think that oftentimes sports, I know for everyone as a fan, sports are a release, right? Like the Earth's not going to shift its axis today if we win or lose for anybody. Like the sun's going to come up tomorrow, and it's going to move on. And so sports are a release, and having all your teammates around you, those are relationships, and that's a family. And those are people. I mean, for those kids, they live together at 6 a.m. They live together. They sleep. They eat. They go to class. I'm like that's who. It becomes the fabric of who you are as a person. And so for Gabe, it's also his safe space. It's also his release, is to be able to do the thing that he enjoys, what he's very good at, to be with the people that value him as a person first and foremost, and then to go out and try to help that club do something worthwhile, a worthy endeavor. And I think that's where that decision from Gabe's standpoint came from, and why he's able to handle such terrible adversity, such terrible difficult times with such grace and class, and we've all been very proud of him.
Do you think it's doubly special for him to be pitching where he